हर एक कंट्री में नेवी को अलग-अलग नाम से बुलाया जाता है और वो कौन से ईयर में स्टार्ट हुए हैं इसके बारे में बताने जा रहा हूँ। वीडियो को एंड तक देखना, आपको नया इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलेगा। Abkhazian Navy 1992, 31 years ago. Albanian Naval Force 1925, 98 years ago. Algerian National Navy 1516, 507 years ago. Angolan Navy 1977, 46 years ago. Antigua and Barbuda Coast Guard 1981, 42 years ago. Argentine Navy 1810 to 13 years ago. Royal Australian Navy 1911, 112 years ago. Azerbaijani Navy 1919, 104 years ago. Bahamas, Royal Bahamas Defense Force 1980, 43 years ago. Bahrain, Royal Bahrain Naval Force 1969, 54 years ago. Bangladesh Navy 1971, 52 years ago. Barbados Coast Guard 1979, 44 years ago. Belgian Navy 1831, 192 years ago. Belize Coast Guard 1978, 45 years ago. Benin Navy 1978, 45 years ago. Bolivian Naval Force 1963, 60 years ago. Brazilian Navy 1822, 201 years ago. Royal Brunei Navy 1965, 58 years ago. Bulgarian Navy 1899, 124 years ago. Royal Cambodian Navy 1953, 70 years ago. Cameroon Navy 1960, 63 years ago. Canada Royal Canadian Navy 1910, 113 years ago. Cape Verdean Coast Guard 1975, 48 years ago. Cayman Islands Coast Guard 2021, 2 years ago. Chilean Navy 1817, 106 years ago. People's Republic of China People's Liberation Army Navy 1949, 74 years ago. Republic of China Navy 1924, 99 years ago. Colombia National Navy 1823, 200 years ago. Comorian Navy 1997, 26 years ago. Democratic Republic of the Congo Navy of the Democratic Republic of the Congo 1960, 63 years ago. Republic of the Congo Congolese Navy 1960, 63 years ago. Costa Rican Coast Guard 1949, 74 years ago. Cote Ivorian Navy 1960, 63 years ago. Croatian Navy 1991, 32 years ago. Cuban Revolutionary Navy 1963, 60 years ago. Cyprus Navy 1964, 59 years ago. North Cyprus TRNC Coast Guard Command 1978, 45 years ago. Denmark Royal Danish Navy 1510, 513 years ago. Djibouti Navy 1979, 44 years ago. Dominican Navy 1844, 179 years ago. East Timorese Navy 2002, 21 years ago. Ecuadorian Navy 1832, 191 years ago. Egyptian Navy 1967, 56 years ago. El Salvador Navy of El Salvador 1951, 72 years ago. Equatorial Guinea Navy of Equatorial Guinea 1968, 55 years ago. Eritrean Navy 1961, 62 years ago. Estonian Navy 1918, 105 years ago. Fiji, Republic of Fiji Navy, 1975, 48 years ago. Finland, Finnish Navy, 1918, 105 years ago. France, French Navy, 1624, 399 years ago. Gabon, Gabonese Navy, 1960, 63 years ago. Gambia, Gambian Navy, 1965, 58 years ago. Georgia, Coast Guard of Georgia, 1998, 25 years ago. Germany, German Navy, 1956, 67 years ago. Ghana, Ghana Navy, 1959, 64 years ago. Greece, Hellenic Navy, 1828, 195 years ago. Grenada, Coast Guard of Grenada, 1974, 49 years ago. Guatemala, Guatemala Navy, 1959, 64 years ago. Guyana, Navy of Guyana, Conakry, 1958, 65 years ago. Guyana-Bissau, Guiana Navy, 1973, 50 years ago. Guyana, Guyanese Coast Guard, 1966, 57 years ago. Haiti, Haitian Coast Guard, 2011, 12 years ago. Honduras, Honduran Navy, 1976, 47 years ago. Iceland, Icelandic Coast Guard, 1926, 97 years ago. India, Indian Navy, 1612, 411 years ago. Indonesia, Indonesian Navy, 1945, 78 years ago. Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran Navy, 1923, 100 years ago. Iran, Navy of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, 1985, 38 years ago. Iraq, Iraqi Navy, 1937, 86 years ago. Ireland, Irish Naval Service, 1946, 77 years ago. Israel, Israeli Navy, 1948, 75 years ago. Italy, Italian Navy, 1861, 162 years ago. Jamaica, Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard, 1963, 60 years ago. Japan, Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, 1954, 69 years ago. Jordan, Royal Jordanian Navy, 1951, 72 years ago. Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan Naval Forces, 1993, 30 years ago. Kenya, Kenya Navy, 1964, 59 years ago. North Korea, Korean People's Navy, 1946, 77 years ago. South Korea, Republic of Korea Navy, 1945, 78 years ago. Kuwait Navy, 1961, 62 years ago. Laos, Laos People's Navy, 1975, 48 years ago. Latvia, Latvian Naval Forces, 1919, 104 years ago. Lebanon, Lebanese Navy, 1950, 73 years ago. Liberia, Liberian National Guard, 1959, 64 years ago. Libya, Libyan Navy, 1962, 61 years ago. Lithuania, Lithuanian Naval Force, 1935, 88 years ago. Madagascar, Madagascar Navy, 1960, 63 years ago. Malawi, Malawi Marine Unit, 1978, 45 years ago. Malaysia, Royal Malaysian Navy, 1934, 89 years ago. Maldives, Maldivian Coast Guard, 1980, 43 years ago. Malta, Maritime Squadron of the Armed Forces of Malta, 1970, 53 years ago. Mauritania, Mauritanian Navy, 1966, 57 years ago. Mauritius, National Coast Guard of Mauritius, 1968, 55 years ago. Mexico, Mexican Navy, 1821, 202 years ago. Montenegro, Montenegrin Navy, 2006, 17 years ago. Morocco, Royal Moroccan Navy, 1960, 63 years ago. Mozambique Navy, 1994, 29 years ago. Myanmar, Myanmar Navy, 1947, 76 years ago. Namibia, Namibian Navy, 2004, 19 years ago. The Netherlands, Royal Netherlands Navy, 1488, 535 years ago. Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard, 1996, 27 years ago. New Zealand, Royal New Zealand Navy, 1941, 82 years ago. Nicaraguan Navy, 1980, 43 years ago. Nigerian Navy, 1956, 67 years ago. North Macedonian Lake Patrol Police, 1991, 32 years ago. Norway, Royal Norwegian Navy, 1814, 209 years ago. Oman, Royal Navy of Oman, 1970, 53 years ago. Pakistan Navy, 1947, 76 years ago. Palestinian Naval Police, 1995, 28 years ago. Panama, National Aero Naval Service, 2008, 15 years ago. Papua New Guinea Maritime Element, 1973, 50 years ago. Paraguayan Navy, 1811, 212 years ago. Peruvian Navy, 1821, 202 years ago. Philippine Navy, 1898, 125 years ago. Polish Navy, 1918, 105 years ago. Portugal, Portuguese Navy, 1317, 706 years ago. Qatari Emiri Navy, 1971, 52 years ago. Romanian Naval Forces, 1860, 163 years ago. Russia, Russian Navy, 1696, 327 years ago. Sao Tome and Principe, Coast Guard, 1968, 55 years ago. Saudi Arabia, Royal Saudi Arabia Navy, 1957, 66 years ago. Senegalese Navy, 1975, 48 years ago. Seychelles Coast Guard, 1992, 31 years ago. Serbian River Flotilla, 1915, 108 years ago. Sierra Leone Navy, 1981, 42 years ago. Singapore, Republic of Singapore Navy, 1967, 56 years ago. Slovenia Navy, 1993, 30 years ago. Somali Navy, 1964, 59 years ago. Somaliland Coast Guard, 1995, 28 years ago. South African Navy, 1922, 101 years ago. Spanish Navy, 1479, 544 years ago. Sri Lanka Navy, 1950, 73 years ago. Saint Kitts and Nevis Coast Guard, 1896, 127 years ago. Saint Vincent and Grenadines, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines Coast Guard, 1980, 43 years ago. Sudanese Navy, 1962, 61 years ago. Suriname Navy, 1977, 46 years ago. Sweden, Swedish Navy, 1522, 501 years ago. Switzerland, Swiss Lakes Flotilla, 1941, 82 years ago. Syrian Arab Navy, 1950, 73 years ago. Tanzania Naval Command, 1971, 52 years ago. Thailand, Royal Thai Navy, 1887, 136 years ago. Togo, Togolese Navy, 1960, 63 years ago. Tongan Navy, 1973, 50 years ago. Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, 1962, 61 years ago. Tunisian National Navy, 1956, 67 years ago. Turkey, Turkish Navy, 1920, 103 years ago. Turkmenistan, Turkmen Naval Forces, 1992, 31 years ago. Ukraine, Ukrainian Navy, 1992, 31 years ago. United Arab Emirates, United Arab Emirates Navy, 1971, 52 years ago. United Kingdom Royal Navy, 1546, 477 years ago. United States Navy, 1775 to 48 years ago. Uruguay National Navy of Uruguay, 1817 to 106 years ago. Uzbekistan Uzbek River Force, 1992, 31 years ago. Venezuela Bolivarian Navy of Venezuela, 1811, 212 years ago. Vietnam Vietnam People's Navy, 1955, 68 years ago. Yemen Yemeni Navy, 1990, 33 years ago.